Hello, dear fans, friends, and subscribers of Cricket Happenings. Welcome back to your favorite show, the Cricket Happening Show, with your host Ram. Well, as far as today's Cricket Happening is concerned, it's two previews coming up. One is the match between the second Test match, which is going to decide the series, and it's between New Zealand versus Pakistan, which is going to be played at the Hagley Oval in Christchurch. And for New Zealand, particular match is a very important match. If they can win this series 2-0, but they would be really qualifying themselves, like they would be on the top as far as the World Test Championship standings are concerned with India and Australia. So that is a very important match for them. So I'll be previewing that particular match, which is coming up probably right now when I'm talking to you, probably in 2 hours' time. We'll be seeing the match being enacted on the first day between New Zealand and that is coming up, where a very, once again, as I also used the word, decimated and injured, a crippled Sri Lankan team will be taking on the South Africans at the Wanderers in Johannesburg. They are at a marked disadvantage because they are zero. Already they are one down in the series. Again, this is going to be the deciding match. So I'm not giving any chances to Sri Lanka here for the simple reason they are absolutely crippled. And not only that, there are 7 people who are injured, and it is not going to be easy for them, especially considering that Wanderers, which we call it the Bull Ring in Johannesburg in South Africa, is known for its fiery pace and bounce. And that is not going to be easy, let me tell you that, for the Sri Lankans. Well, I'm going to start off with the first preview. New Zealand versus Pakistan at the Hagley Oval Church. Now, one thing that we know is that New Zealand had to really fight hard on the final day to go and win the first Test match. But definitely Pakistan deserved a lot of credit for stretching the New Zealanders to such an extent that only with 4.2 overs remaining, in fact, New Zealand could win the match. It was a sigh of relief for them. But as I said, this particular match, the second Test match, is a very important one for New Zealand, because if they win this particular Test match against Pakistan, they not only take the series 2-0, but they are making themselves, they are putting themselves into a good position for the World Test Championships. So let's have a look at the New Zealand team. Now, looking at the New Zealand team, I'm not expecting much changes to come there. Tom Latham and Tom Blundell will open the innings. Kane Williamson has already announced his entry after missing a few matches. Ross Taylor, well, for him, definitely his experience. We saw how his experience counted when New Zealand had to really repair the damage, and that's what precisely Ross Taylor and Kane Williamson did it in the first innings against Pakistan on the first day. Then they have Henry Nicholls, another very talented player. BJ Watling, we all know what he can do with the bat, how he can grind any opposition ball in the world today. And the bowling, Mitchell Santner, who finally got that wicket and really gave immense joy to New Zealand. But the pace attack, that is the one which will be the talking point. Kyle Jamieson, as I said, is going from strength to strength. He's doing a great job for his team, and he's having a sort of a glorious future in New Zealand cricket. And it will be the experienced Tim Southee and Trent Boult operating from one end. And then the only problem that New Zealand will have here is that Neil Wagner, who is such an important member of the New Zealand team, because he is someone who goes for the rib cage of the batsman and he attacks them. He bowls a lot of short balls. I'm talking about Neil Wagner, who already did a heroic deed in the first Test with 2 fractures in his toe. He went and bowled, but now he won't be there. He's out for 6 weeks, so he's not there for this particular Test match. And he has been replaced by Matt Henry. Matt Henry is definitely in some good form. He's coming on the heels of a 6-wicket bag I am told in one particular match against the Pakistan Shaheen team. So he is looking good. So definitely New Zealand definitely going with winning combination. Just a change would be Matt Henry coming in place of injured Neil Wagner. As far as Pakistan are concerned, one was probably hoping that after their wonderful performance in the first Test match, one was hoping that if Babar Azam could come back into the team and captain the team, what would happen is this Pakistan unit will be much stronger. But unfortunately, that's not to be. The news is not good for Pakistan. Babar Azam once again misses out. So Babar Azam totally misses out this New Zealand series. So that's a big blow for them. But nevertheless, if you look at the team composition again, Mohammad Rizwan will lead the side. And I can tell you one thing, after looking at the way Mohammad Rizwan batted, I can say that he is one solid player on whom Pakistan can rely now. He looks to be a very dependable player, not only as captain, but also as a very good player. And he's a good wicketkeeper as well. So definitely, I think Pakistan have definitely found a wicketkeeper batsman for all formats now, Mohammad Rizwan. I think Sarfraz Ahmed has to really work hard if he has to displace Mohammad Rizwan, because Mohammad Rizwan has already proved himself. I don't think there's anything else to prove for Mohammad Rizwan. He has some very good strokes as well. His captaincy is good. So he's all there. As I said, he has become a specialist wicketkeeper batsman for Pakistan from now on. If you look at the Pakistan squad, the opening combination of Shan Masood and Abid Ali will have a lot of work to do. They failed in the first Test match. So Pakistan will be hoping that they could get a good opening start, which is definitely it's not going to be easy against the bowling of Trent Bolt and Team Saudi. But Shan Masood and Abid Ali, I'm sure, will make a very good effort on their part to put up a very good opening stand, so that the other batsmen can capitalize on that. That would be very vital for opening combination. Azhar Ali will be slotted at number 1, and then Haris Sohail. Now Fawad Alam is someone on whom I have a feeling that New Zealand would have really done their homework. They would have looked at his videos, and because he has a very unorthodox batting style, he got a century after a gap of 12 years, his second Test done. So he is full of confidence. But I'm sure New Zealand think tank or the New Zealand coach would have really put his wards into action, into work, rather doing the homework, where they are trying to find out as to how they can get Fawad Alam out, because his stance is very peculiar. He actually gets into position very quickly. So that was probably their first instance of looking at Fawad Alam. And as you know, whenever any new batsman comes in, initially they score, but it's a test of how that batsman can score later. And I think Fawad Alam will have a test here, because I'm sure he will be tested by the New Zealand bowlers. Probably they'll have a different game plan for Fawad Alam, and that's what I'm expecting. Mohammad Rizwan, we already spoken about. Fahim Ashraf, another very all-rounder in the mix, no doubt about it. Yasir Shah, we all know what a world-class bowler he is. And the bowling would be in the hands of Shaheen Afridi, Naseem Shah, Mohammad Abbas. Well, Mohammad Abbas, I don't think he put any foot wrong. He really did a good job. It was just the batting. But definitely still Mohammad Abbas, Shaheen Afridi was the one who gave those early breakthroughs on the first day. But definitely have their task cut out, no doubt about it, that they have to bowl very well at the New Zealanders. And Naseem Shah also getting into some form with some wicket taking in the second innings as well. Now, looking at the pitch at the Hagley Oval, they say that normally if you look at the nature of the Hagley Oval, it has been a very good ground for New Zealand. They have been probably winning their matches. But looking at the conditions, I'm just trying to look at the conditions, because they are expecting. Normally, they say the Hagley Oval in Christchurch helps the bowlers a lot, and also I think this match probably could even be a low-scoring game. One has to wait and watch. But the weather is going to be very windy. There it will be cloudy as well. So and there is also some scattered showers which have been forecast. So I think the going is not going to be tough. There is something that they have to really work hard. And especially for Pakistan, because for New Zealand, they are definitely used to their home conditions. But as far as Pakistan are concerned, they need to take stock of it. and see how they can use the conditions better. And I'm sure with the windy conditions, even Pakistan will benefit from that, because they have the bowlers who are typically made for bowling in those conditions. One is Mohammad Abbas. A wind factor would really help his swing. Shaheen Afridi as well, and also Naseem Shah, who is the express pace bowler. Now, for India, definitely going into the some news coming in that going into the third Test match, which is coming up, which is very important one for both the teams, with the scores, with the series being level right now. The news is not good. One does not know. Whether the Indian players definitely, breached the protocol. But I'm told that Rohit Sharma has just come in. Rishabh Pant, Shubman Gill, Prithvi Shaw, and Saini have all been placed in isolation as a precaution for COVID, which is something sad. One does not expect that to happen, but one only hopes that nothing goes wrong. Now, let me get on to the preview of the second Test match, which is coming up between Sri Lanka and South Africa. Now, as I said, I'm going to look at Sri Lanka, because Sri Lanka, as yesterday also I said, they are the ones who are at a marked disadvantage. I feel very sorry for them, because 7 members out of the 21 members who are touring South Africa are injured. Kasun Rajita, the bowler, Lairu Kamara, the fastest bowler of the pack, Dhananjay De Silva, the batsman, Oshada Fernando, and Dinesh Chandimal, the experienced batsman, is out. And there is also doubts lingering over the leg spinning all-rounder, Wanindu Hasaranga, and also the seamer Suranga Lakmal, also in doubt. And they are already crippled. They don't have Angelo Matthews, their best player, as well. So I think it is going to be something. But your mind might probably hark back to the 2019 tour, where the Sri Lankans actually beat South Africa 2-0. Sri Lanka beat South Africa 2-0. This was following the 2019 tour. So, probably a miracle, one could say, but one has to really see what's in store. Now, one good thing for South Africa, Sri Lanka, is that Kagiso Rabada was expected to play, won't play. So that is a good news for them. But other than that, if you look at let's have a look at the Sri Lankan squad and see what exactly is going to be there. I mean, the Wanderers in Johannesburg, let me tell you, is going to be a green mamba. It is going to be pacey. It is going to be bouncy. It's going to be absolutely green. And it's, as I said, it will be something. It will be a real battle for the Sri Lankans, no doubt about it. If you look at the Sri Lankan squad here, looking at the composition, Dimuth Karunaratne will captain the side. So definitely some runs are needed from. He needs to take more responsibility, as he is one of the most senior cricketers in this particular team, with all the injuries going around. So I think the onus will be on Dimuth Karunaratne, not only as a captain, but as a captain to play a big knock, probably hit a century. Lairu Tirimani coming in, strengthen them, because his experience, he has loads of experience. So Lairu Tirimani, as I said, he has modeled himself on the former Sri Lankan batting great Kumar Sangakkara, but has really not been the time for him to show it that way when he partners Dimuth Karunaratne as the opener to open against South Africa. Kushal Mendes, we all know what a wonderful talent Kushal Mendes is, one of the best batsmen in the Sri Lankan camp. But if he can really get going, that would really help the Sri Lankans a great deal. Kushal Pereira has to probably bring his 153 that he hit at Centurions against South Africa. He probably has to get to his best, sort of an example. Minod Bhanuka, the batsman, could probably make his debut. Not probably, he should definitely make his debut. Dasun Chanaka is definitely, he's improving a lot. I think there is a lot of improvement in Dasun Chanaka now. whether it is his batting or bowling, and that is good to see. Niroshan Dikwala will be the wicketkeeper who will be playing. So Dikwala, as you know, he's the wicketkeeper and he's a good player as well. Wanindu Asranga, as I said, is still in doubt. And Dushmanta Chamira, the pace bowler, will be slotted into the mix. And Asita Fernando, Visha Fernando and Asita Fernando could probably make his debut. So it's quite possible that Asita Fernando, the pace bowler, and Minod Banuka could probably make their test debuts. For South Africa, they probably had a player called is an uncapped player by the name Reynard van Tonder, but I'm told he's fractured a finger, so he won't be there. But I don't think the South Africans will change it much. So let's have a look at their composition. Dean Elgar and Aidan Markram will open the innings, and they have already shown in the first test as to what they can do with the bat. Rassie van der Sen is already a very, very good talent in the making. Faf du Plessis is coming on some hot form, 199 in the previous test. Quinton de Kock is someone who failed in the first test match. Probably he would probably like to get on to some feast of runs against a crippled Sri Lankan side. Temba Bavuma looked good but then got out. Vian Mulder had a very good first test match where he picked up some useful wickets and also scored some useful runs. Keshav Maharaj got his test career best score, so definitely he's a very useful bat. I mean, he's a sort of a bits and pieces all-rounder, Keshav Maharaj, so that's good. And Norje, Lungi Giri and Lutho Sipamla will form the pace pack, and definitely Norje would be someone who would be definitely a very difficult proposition for Sri Lanka. Let me tell you, this bull ring, the Wanderers in Johannesburg, is a green mamba, as we call it, pacey and bouncy. And South Africans have a great record at the Wanderers in Johannesburg. And this pace pack, to me, a bit of inexperience when you talk about Lungi Giri and Lutho Sipamla. Lutho Sipamla was beautiful in the previous test match. So I think they will form an awesome combination, even though Kagiso Rabada is not there. So I think Sri Lanka can thank their stars that the prime strike bowler, Kagiso Rabada, is not there in the mix. Since he is not there, at least they can breathe a bit, because Norje, Mulder, Lungi Giri and Lutho Sipamla will form the pace pack, and I think they would be someone who would be a force to reckon with on this green mamba, as we call it, at the Wanderers in Johannesburg. Looking at the pitch and conditions, it's something, and I'm told that it is going to be there could be probably there has been some significant rain as well leading to the match. So they say the weather will be a bit cooler as well. One has to wait and watch. But what a match that is going to be! I wouldn't say it would be a very good match, because the simple reason being, the only reason that I say is because Sri Lankans are a crippled unit, and I would definitely like to see the Sri Lankans get on the top here, because the South Africans have everything going for them. They are at a huge advantage. One is the pitch, home conditions. They have everything going for them, but the Sri Lankans are totally crippled. So Sri Lankans, go out there and start making a statement and prove everybody wrong, and put your best foot forward and see whether you can do something to the South Africans in the second test match. The other cricket news that I'm getting out here, Dale Steyn, as you know, the Indian Premier League will be played in the year 2021, as we all know. Dale Steyn, who plays for Royal Challengers, did not get a lot of matches in this IPL, and the news comes in that Dale Steyn has decided that he's going to skip the Indian Premier League 2021. He would probably be concentrating on other leagues where he would be playing, but he won't be playing in the Indian Premier League. And as you know, he has been a vital member of the Royal Challengers Bangalore side, so he's not there. The other news that I have for you is that one would remember Herschel Gibbs, the former South African player. If I remember this bloke, Herschel Gibbs, that is for the 6 sixes that he hit. As you know, actually Karachi Kings, the head coach was none other than the late Dean Jones. but it is Herschel Gibbs. Herschel Gibbs, one would remember that name, Herschel Gibbs. He is someone who hit 6 sixes in a single over. Now I think it was the World Cup but he did it against an associate nation team. I do remember that, but I think it was Bermuda. If my either Bermuda or Netherlands. I think it's Bermuda if I'm not wrong. But nevertheless, he's someone who would be the new coach of the Karachi Kings in the Pakistan Super League. So that is another news that I'm getting here. And other than that, dear fans, I don't have much. And also some news coming in from the BBL that the all-rounder Ashton Agar is out of the BBL regular season with a calf injury, which is unfortunate. So that's the news I'm getting. And Mitchell Marsh won't be the Perth Scorchers captain. Well, dear fans, just with these tidbits, I think it's about time for me to end this cricket show. It's Netherlands, my friend. Yes, I do see your message, my friend. Yes, thank you for helping me here. Yes, it is Netherlands, dear fans. It is Netherlands. So once again, thank you, dear friend, whoever told me this. Yes, it's definitely against the Netherlands that Herschel Gibbs cracked 6 sixes in a single over. That was in the World Cup. Well, dear fans, subscribers, a pleasure coming and talking to you on this Cricket Happening show. Definitely I'll be seeing you all tomorrow when it would be the first day's play narration on my Cricket Happening show on the match, which probably, as I said, right now when I'm talking to you, another 2 hours time, we have Pakistan and New Zealand will be going out for the toss at the Hagley Oval in Christchurch in New Zealand in the second test match. And the crippled Sri Lankans take on the South Africans at the Wanderers in Johannesburg, the Green Mamba, the pacey and bouncy pitch. And these are the 2 test matches. The first day's play will be the narration on the Cricket Happening show tomorrow. So keep yourself tuned in. Until such time, I see you all. It's goodbye from my studios. Thank you.